In my last video, I discussed 13 reasons Black women are leaving their jobs and joining the Great Resignation. So you may ask, how do I know that it's time to leave my job? Well, today's video is the fourth installment of my Black Woman Get Out series. And yes, we do have some fellas watching the channel, and they've let me know, hey, the videos are helping us too, especially my god brother, Rob. I'm going to give him a shout out. You can watch the videos. Welcome to the community. Thank you for supporting it. So today we're going to discuss 21 signs that it may be time to leave your job. Hello, my name is Colette, and I created this channel as a safe space with you in mind. I help Black women to embrace the new seasons of their lives with purpose and joy by pursuing resilience, practicing self leadership, and pivoting towards entrepreneurship. If anything I said resonates with you, welcome to the community. We'd love to have you. So at this time, I'd like to remind everybody to grab a pen or paper or something to write with, your tablet, your phone, get comfortable. We're going to talk. Now you'll see me looking down because I have a ton of notes because I did say 21 signs. Okay, so I'll be looking down. So here are 21 signs that it's time or maybe time to leave your job. In preparation for this video, I read a number of articles and viewed some videos. Now, I won't get into details and give the names of all the articles in this video. However, I'll link all the information in the description box below as normal. Based on my research, I comprised this list of 21. Some of the things I read said 6, some said 5, some said 15, and so I have decided to compile this list of 20 signs, 21 signs that it may be time to leave your job. And this list is not in any particular order. Number one, limited or no room for career advancement or professional growth. So, according to a Harvard Business Review article, looking at your job differently, okay, may help if you don't have the opportunity to necessarily promote up. Maybe looking at the job differently, maybe modifying some of your job duties can help deal with the limited room for advancement if you're unable to leave your job. They call it maybe job crafting can help you to look at your current position in a different way. And what that does, what you do there is you would add different little tasks or think of a different way to do your job, just to kind of break up the monotony of what you do every day. I have always been a proponent of lateral career changes, meaning that it's not necessarily a promotion up or career step up. Sometimes it's a career step across, sometimes it's diagonal. I'm a person, I can't be bored. I have to always learn. I have to always be doing something new, you know. And so people around my prior workforce, they knew me by my saying, the phrase that I would always say is, I collect skills. So collecting skills in terms of trying different little things at your job, if it's possible, can kind of help you with the inability to promote up or to advance your career if you have to stay on the job and you just need a way to keep going. Okay. I always feel, that, trying different things is always helpful. So, number one, uh, you may consider leaving if you have no career growth available, no promotional opportunities, and no opportunity to kind of vary your job. That's number one. Number two, you are not able or encouraged to leverage your education, experience, or skills. I know personally that this can be frustrating because you feel stymied and you're like, I have all these things that I can do. There's projects available where my skill sets match what they need, but sometimes you are not afforded that opportunity, even if you say that you're interested. So If you are in a position to where you are unable to use your skills completely, which not every job will allow you to have or need you to use your skills, all of your skills, but if you can't use a lot of your skills or most of your skills, this may be a time that you may consider a career change or leaving that particular job. So number 2, you're not able to use your skills. Number 3, you've accomplished everything you can at that job. Sometimes you've outgrown the job, and that's just a fact. Sometimes there is no room in that organization or in that company for you. You started in one place when you began your career or job there, and now you're different. You've advanced, you've grown, but there's no place, no room for you in the organization any longer. So that's number 3. Number 4, you are severely or grossly underpaid. You may decide to leave or consider leaving your job if you are not paid appropriately. Number 5, you can't see yourself with the company anymore. The direction the organization or the company is moving in, you don't see yourself or you can't picture yourself there anymore. If you just started a company working someplace, you cannot see yourself or picture yourself in the long term. That may be a sign that it is time for you to leave that particular job. Number 6, you're not following your passion or your purpose. Okay. Now, you hear people throwing around purpose and passion all the time. And this is something that you yourself, you have to decide what your purpose is and what your passion is. You have to do the work in this area. Devote some time, ask yourself some questions. If money were not an object, what is it I'd like to spend my time doing? You know, what do I feel like I was put on this earth to do? And one way you can figure this out is, what do people come to you and ask you questions about, and that you are happy to assist them with? You would do it without getting paid. For example, I enjoy training and teaching and educating folks, and that's one of the things I'm doing now here on the channel. Okay. So, what is it that you would do for free? That kind of will guide you towards discovering what your purpose or your passion is. Number 7, your personal values are no longer in alignment with your employer's practiced values. Now, you notice I put an emphasis on practiced values because these organizations and these companies, they have all these beautifully polished, slick vision, mission, core value statements. But what are they practicing? I personally have seen where what is proclaimed is not always practiced. I've experienced that. And I've been in a situation where the practice values, the practice core values, do not align with my personal values. Now, you have to know what your values are. You know, do you value integrity, honesty? Okay. Do you value commitment, communication, transparency? What are your values? And I will be doing a video on how to determine what your values are, how to kind of determine what your purpose is. Keep in mind your purpose, it adjusts as mature, as you experience different things. It could change. I mean, the gist of your overall purpose is the same, but it changes the direction sometimes. Okay. So number 7, the future of the company, organization, or its leaders are in question. For example, if you work for a company or organization that's in the news and not for good things, that may make you want to say, do I want to stay on this sinking ship? Executive leadership is changing, it's in an influx. That may be something where you may want to ask yourself, Do I want to stay in this company or this organization? Now, there are some business sectors where high turnover and frequent turnover are just a part of everyday culture for that organization or company. But when you work in an organization or a company where this is not necessarily the everyday way of business and it's starting to happen, you may want to ask yourself, is this someplace I want to be? Okay. So, number 8, the future of the company, organization, or its leaders is in question. Number 8, excuse me, that's number 9. I'm a number 9. You are no longer able to perform your job responsibilities. So, what does that look like? That could look like you are in a position where, for example, you're in management like I was, but the organization has made some changes to how they do their business operations. Because of those changes, perhaps maybe they put in new technology, and there are glitches in the technology, known glitches, okay, that either can't be fixed or they're working on fixing, but at this point it's impacting um, the ability of the staff to do their work, the people who are not in IT to do their work. You can't pay somebody because something's going on with the system. Person is calling every day for a check or for whatever. Okay. You can't do your job. There's nothing you can do about it. That is an example that you are no longer able to perform your job responsibilities. Now, the inability to do what needs to happen, it could be a temporary situation, which that happens. When you install new technology, there are some issues. But when you see that there is a long-term problem and there doesn't seem to be any movement in getting this fixed or repaired, then you may want to ask yourself, is this something that I want to deal with? Okay. Is this something that I can stay? Is this a place where I can continue to work and my hands are tied? Especially if you are a person who cares. You care for the internal customer, you care for the external customer. When you cannot service them, that may be a problem for you. And it may be in contradiction to your personal values. Maybe your value is to be of service to folks, and this particular situation, this new install is impacting your ability to do your job, and it goes against your values of being able to be of service. Okay? So number 10, your ethics are being compromised. For me, that's big. That's really, really big. So what does that look like? That looks like using the example of the IT install, the new upgrade. That looks like people calling in to get their check and being told that it's on the way when it's not on the way. Being directed to tell people that, or being directed to tell the customers that uh, are diverting them to something else, that they can go to the website and get information when we know that that website does not have the answer that the customer is looking for. Okay. Being directed to tell the customers to go to this website. For me, if the website does not provide the information that the customer is looking for, which is why they're calling, and I'm being told to tell these people to go to the website, that's unethical for me. That's unethical. Okay. And I'll just leave it at that. Number 11, you would not want your friends to work there. If you are working in an environment where you would not want your friends working, that's a sign that you may want to leave that position or leave that job or leave that company. That's actually a big sign because most people want to work with their friends or family if you can, because there are some times you can't do that because of company policies or organizational policies about nepotism and that type of thing. But if that policy is not something that is preventing you from telling people, hey, there's a job opening where I work in this department, if you are like, and I've been in this situation where quite recently people have asked me, I'm thinking about applying at this organization. What do you think? And I've said, don't do it. I wouldn't apply, and they trust me because they know I know. Been there for years. Don't do it. That wasn't always the case. So that's number 11. You would not want your friends to work there. Number 12, you hate going to work. Hate it. Okay. For me, Sundays were horrible. Why? Because I knew Monday was coming. They were so bad that I couldn't sleep sometimes, most of the time on Sunday nights. I couldn't sleep. Okay. So you hate going into the job. I talk to people all the time, and woo, the conversations are deep, very, very deep. Okay. So that's number 12. Number 13, you look for ways to avoid going to work. Harvard Business of the Harvard Business Review suggests that in these cases, like say you can't quit the job out and out, they suggest maybe a break is in order. Maybe you could take a break, a vacation, paid or not. Maybe you can go out on leave, a leave of absence, medical leave of absence, maybe, something that you may be eligible to do, but they suggest taking some kind of break. They suggest that may be helpful. Now, in prior videos, I have discussed how some Black women are taking career breaks, they're taking grown up gap years or sabbaticals. And in my video where I talk about resources, I provided the names of two individuals that I know who help Black women to take career breaks and sabbaticals. Their is Rashida Dow and Stephanie Perry. Both help Black women to take some time off. Okay. I will link my video in the description box. And the video is the one that I just did. I think it was the one before this one where I talk about resources if you've decided to leave your job. So I will link that in the video box. But 13 is you look for ways to avoid going to work. It's kind of related to 12 because you hate it. 14, you actively look into pursuing other opportunities. You looking for jobs, you know? And sometimes this can be kind of tricky depending on what's going on at the job, because sometimes you have to list your prior employer or your current employer. And if you're trying to do it on the low key, that's kind of hard. It can be difficult, but the fact that you're actively looking is a clue that perhaps you may want to leave that position. Okay. Number five, excuse me, five. Number 15, you are quiet quitting. Yes, it is a thing. In his video, Timothy Ward explains that this is quiet quitting is doing just enough not to get written up and not to get fired. You've basically checked out. That's basically what it is. You've checked out of your current position and you're only doing what you need to do to get by. It's called quiet quitting. I will put the link to Timothy Ward's video on quiet quitting in the description box below. Another term that HR folks use for this is low employee engagement. Okay, so that's number 15. Number 16, you may decide to leave your current position, or one of the signs that you need to leave is that you need more work life balance. One thing that the pandemic has helped a lot of people see is that they prefer spending more time with family and they're valuing family because many of us had to work at home. Many of us had our children at home. I personally Had my both of my children were back at home. They're college age and they had to come home, you know. So when they were home, it was a whole different dynamic in the house. I was working in this office and they were in their rooms and me on meetings and Zoom classes and what have you. So during that time, you realize, hey, I really value this. So you need more work-life balance. Number 17, your attitude and personality is beginning to change. I know for me, my personality was different. I wasn't I didn't look forward to going to work anymore. Now, by nature, I am a workaholic, which was not a good thing anyway, but I de-stressed by going to work. That's how I de-stressed. That's how I dealt with a lot of things in my life was throwing myself into my job. So when my feelings changed about my job, I had to figure something else out as far as what to do to de-stress. So your attitude or your personality begins to change. Number 18, everything seems overwhelming. Everything. Every little thing is overwhelming. I've talked to women, I talk to them all the time, people in general, about some of the things they're dealing with on their jobs, and it's something else. People are going through a lot. And though my video is curated for Black women, it's a lot of people are going through things, a lot of people. Number 19, the workplace is unhealthy or toxic. Um, I'll do a separate video, two separate videos actually, one on the actual workplace being toxic, and two on excuse me, the signs on how to identify a toxic workplace. And the other video I'll do will be how to identify a toxic boss. But when we talk about the workplace being unhealthy or toxic, um, that can have some real health impacts, some emotional and physical impacts on you. Your body manifests a lot of things that you deal with. I know for me, I had a knot in my back, a huge knot. Um, that knot is gone now. It's funny because after I left my workplace, one day I was doing something. I said, "Hey, wait a minute. Why isn't my neck hurting anymore? Neck cool, no problems." Okay, so that's number 19. Number 20, and this is a huge one for me. You have substantial concerns about your boss's behavior. And I even hate using the word boss because that goes back to plantation terminology. But some of these jobs make you feel like a plantation, like you're working on a plantation. Okay. So, an example of a concern is there is a lack of trust. You don't trust your supervisor or manager. And I have completely been in that situation. You are micromanaged. And when I talk about toxic bosses, I'll talk about the micromanagement and why that happens. A lot of times it's rooted in insecurity. The boss is insecure about your abilities or what have you. You feel like you have to walk on eggshells because this person is in a I got you mode. Anything you do, I got you. I remember one time I was accused of saying something that I didn't say, you know. I was accused of saying it the wrong way. Then, when I didn't say anything, I was accused of having an attitude. So it's like I couldn't win for losing, walking on eggshells. Okay. And like I said, I'll do a different video on how to identify uh, toxic bosses. Okay. And number 21, you're just being bullied and harassed. Okay. That's almost related to the one that I just talked about, but Bullying and harassment is is a huge problem. Huge problem. And I think I'll cover that when I talk about the toxic workplace. 21. So there you have 21 signs that it may be time to leave your job. Now, this again, like I said, is the fourth installment of Black Women Get Out. And again, I'm not telling people to just up and leave your job. I'm not suggesting that without doing some planning, without doing some serious decision making to determine if this is something that you can do, should do, or able to do. However, I am totally not encouraging anyone to stay at a job that is harmful. If you have made a decision to leave your job, I have a video and I mentioned it earlier that lists resources that may be helpful. Again, I'll link that in the description below. Okay. In closing, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, to tell people about the channel. Please share it if you think somebody could be helped by the information. The whole purpose of the channel is to educate and inform. Okay. This is something that I'm passionate about. It's something I enjoy doing. And right now, we are doing this series so that you can understand, Black women, that you're not alone. There's a lot of people going through what you're going through, and you may say, oh, that doesn't make me feel any better. I get that. I get that. I understand that. But I just want you to be aware of what's going on out there. If you would like to see more content like this, consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you. When you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I drop new videos. If you have any suggestions about this video or other videos, just drop them in the comments. If you have other signs of when it's time to leave your job, or if you want to say why you left your job or why you were thinking about leaving your job, and be careful with your name and everything on there if you haven't told your boss and job, employer, what have you. Drop it in the comments. I do read all the comments. I do respond to the comments. And so for those of you who have been commenting, I want to say thank you. The videos, like I said, are curated for women, Black women, but the men been in the comments. I had one, in fact, my god brother said, hey, it's for the brothers too. Yeah, it's for the brothers too. You can come on and come get some of this good information. We'd love to have you. We love the support. So again, Harriet and I, and she's back there on the wall. We'll see you at the next video.